Hey Leisure Gamers, Luke here. One of my favorite foods is coconut, and it's really easy to find recipes that use either coconut milk or coconut cream. But today we also wanted to show you another variation on the Mirepoix, which if you remember from last time, that's the carrots, onions, and celery. So today what we're going to make is a coconut Cajun chicken, and this is a fusion of both Cajun and Thai flavors, and then we're going to serve it over some rice. This recipe is really unique, and we doubt it you'll be able to find it anywhere else, but we hope you enjoy it, and let's get started.
There are various steps that can be prepped earlier if you're short on time, so we've introduced a new checkpoint system that you can use to stage your GamerKitchen meals. I can't tell you how convenient it is to have a bunch of cooked Mirepoix refrigerated so I can just whip up a different meal each night. We wanted to use the same equipment from last time, so you'll need your cutting board, a good knife, and a large pot, plus a medium-sized pot to boil some rice in unless you have a rice cooker. To get the coconut Cajun chicken started, the first thing we'll want to do is create the marinade, so the chicken has time to soak up the flavor. It will at least need 20 to 30 minutes, but you could leave it overnight as well. In total, we'll use half a pound of chicken, so in a bowl measure out 1 teaspoon of cornstarch. This is going to give the chicken a slight coating and lock in the flavors after we've cooked it. Next, add 1 teaspoon of sugar, which helps us caramelize the coating as we're cooking it, giving the chicken a nice brown color. Next, add 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. This is the first indication that we're taking this dish Cajun by adding some heat. Lastly, measure out 1/4 cup of lemon juice. The acid in the lemon juice will help tenderize the meat and give a little zest to the final taste. Then take your half pound of chicken and clean it up if need be by cutting off excess fat or blood spots. Slice the chicken into strips. It helps to cut towards the skin side as your knife will get more grip. From the strips, cut the chicken into cubes. Stir your marinade to dissolve the cornstarch and then toss the chicken in, stirring again to evenly coat the chicken. Be sure to wash your hands, cutting board, and knife thoroughly before doing anything else. Poultry is one of the greatest risks to cross-contamination. After you clean up, refrigerate the chicken, covering it if you plan to leave it overnight. This is our first checkpoint, so use this to prep the marinade the night before or right when you get home from work so it has time to soak up some flavor before cooking it for dinner. The next thing we need to do is prep our aromatics. Last time we showed you what a Mirepoix was, but a slight variation that we're going to use today is called the Cajun Trinity, where you substitute the carrots for the green peppers. This is the second indication that we're infusing Cajun flavors, and the exact ratio of a Cajun Trinity is 2 parts onions to 1 part celery and 1 part green pepper. We're going to go a little further today by adding some other aromatics, but the basis is the same. Let's start with 1 large onion, either yellow or white, then 4 stalks of celery and 1 green pepper. We already showed you how to cut up these vegetables last time, so we won't lecture you again. Refer to the Leisure Gamer pasta sauce if you need some help. After that, we'll also need 1 red pepper, which adds wonderful color, and then 8 cloves of garlic. Use 2 teaspoons of garlic powder if you need to save some time, but you can't beat the flavor of fresh. Cutting up all the aromatics and keeping them raw is the second checkpoint. After you cut up all the aromatics, you'll need 1 small tomato as a garnish for the dish. Start by coring the stem area and then cutting the tomato in half. Flip the tomato over and cut towards the skin side. This helps your knife find some grip. If you have a serrated knife, you'll cut through the skin just fine, but dice up the tomato into small cubes. To cook the aromatics, start by heating a large pot over medium heat. Once hot, add 1 to 2 tablespoons of oil. Then dump in all the vegetables. Gradually raise the heat if you need to, but don't go over medium-high. Cook until the onions have begun to sweat and the celery softens. When it's done, measure out 1 cup of the Cajun Trinity and reserve the rest for future recipes. This is the third checkpoint. Since you'll have lots of extra vegetables, you can use this to create more coconut Cajun chicken later in the week, or in future GamerKitchen recipes. If you're planning on eating that same day, you'll want to start some rice while you're cooking the Cajun Trinity. The easiest way to do this is to use a rice cooker and just follow the manufacturer's directions, but rice can be cooked properly in a pot. The standard recipe is 1 cup rice to 1.5 to 1/3 cups of water. Generally, the longer the grain of rice, the more water it will need, and also more water makes the rice softer. Every variety is different, so you'll just need to experiment, but you're also encouraged to wash your rice beforehand. We'll go into more detail about rice in future episodes. I used a long grain rice, so I used 1 3/4 cups of water. To start, measure out the rice into a pot, then add the proportional amount of water. Bring it to a boil uncovered over high heat. Once it's boiling, cover and reduce it to low. Let it sit undisturbed for 20 to 25 minutes. After you've started the rice and the Cajun Trinity is done cooking, return your large pot to medium heat. Add a little bit more oil, maybe a couple teaspoons, and then add in your marinated chicken after stirring 1 final time. Cook until the coating has started to caramelize, which in cooking means the browning of sugars as opposed to the normal browning which occurs on proteins. At this point, most of the lemon juice should be evaporated as well, and it's important to monitor your heat setting because you don't want to go much above medium or the sugars could burn. Once caramelized, add in 1 can of coconut cream, which is normally found in Thai curries and helps make this a fusion dish. When buying coconut cream, shake the can. You want to buy the one that seems the thickest and avoid the ones that feel watery. Purchasing a brand that also seems the most authentic is another good indication of quality, but that's not always the case. After you've added in the coconut cream, measure out 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder and then 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne. Then add in 1 cup of cooked Cajun Trinity, and then finally add salt to taste, which helps push out more of the coconut and Cajun Trinity flavor. Once the coconut chicken is hot, serve over some rice and garnish with the diced tomatoes. Also, sprinkle just a little bit of dried thyme on top, which adds some final color and subtle flavor. Feel free to add some more cayenne if you want more heat, but with plenty of cooked aromatics left, you can try the dish multiple times. If you have any questions about the recipes, please post in the comments below, but we'll be looking forward to hearing how it turns out for you. Alright, Leisure Gamers, see you next time.